That's diabolical right there. Hey Deb, I actually wanted to talk to you. Um, I don't know if you saw my live yesterday. I was um, I was saying that I want to interview some people, and I wanted to start with the members of my channel, and you are one of the members of my channel. So I wanted to ask you if you were interested in doing an interview where basically you would be able to talk about your story, talk about what's happening to you, with um, your experience with being gang stalked. Of course, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but I'd like to do that. Hey, you got it, Deb. I mean, I'd really like to interview you. Hey, chosen one, how's it going? Chosen one, I'm talking to Deb. But if you'd like to be interviewed, that can be arranged. I just decided to start with the members of the channel because my fear is always that some perp will enter the channel and we'll do an interview and they'll try to like sabotage my channel in some way because most of these interviews are live. So I'd rather go with someone who's actually a member that I have more trust in. What do you mean you don't know what to tell me about gang stalking? For real though, eight. You don't know what to tell me about it? What do you mean? So yeah, Deb, I'd like to know if you if you'd be interested in doing an interview where you basically are able to tell your story. Yeah. So Deb is saying that it makes her very anxious. I can understand that. I can understand that. Um, I can definitely relate. I for a very long time I was very anxious to make this page, and not even when it comes to gang stalking itself. I was very anxious when it came to making the page when it was about narcissism because I felt like um I'm outing someone here, like because I was dating a narcissist and I had just gotten out of a relationship with a narcissist at the time, and I felt like I was outing someone. But the truth is I've never said her name. No one knows like who I'm talking about unless they know me. um I just and I also feel like, if you don't want to be outed for a certain behavior, you probably should stop it, you know? But obviously, when it comes to gang stalking, they don't stop. When it comes to narcissists, they don't stop. So it is what it is, right? Um, and I also think that one of the most effective ways of stopping abusers is to speak up. So, if it makes you nervous, if it makes you anxious, we can do like a trial run offline. Um, we could do that if that will make you comfortable, or just, give me like suggestions on how you would like to do it, or if you would not like to do it, I'm not pressuring you either, I just think that um I think it's first of all, it's therapeutic to share to share your story with people who actually believe you and people who are going through the same thing. Obviously, I'm going through the same thing. Um I I think it's very therapeutic, and also it helps in the sense of it weakens their abuse methods. So, we could always do like a Zoom call and just talk, like a one-on-one Zoom call and just talk about what your okay, internet cafe for Zoom. Yeah, we could do a Zoom call and just talk. Like it won't be like an interview, it won't be recorded. We'll just do it like a trial run to see how you feel about it. We could do that. But I just thought I would offer that to you if it's something that interests you. Because it's definitely something that interests me. I want to hear your story, and I would like to also share your story. I think it really helps in a way that is it helps people, it helps the world in a way that is in, incalculable. if that's the right word. If you do wrestling, it's hard to talk to someone who doesn't do wrestling. I don't know what you mean. Like, you mean if you're being gang stalked, it's hard to talk to someone who's not being gang stalked? Or are you talking about like it's hard to talk to me? Because I'm being gang stalked. So you can talk to me all day about gang stalking. Um I do have a lot of footage on my channel. Chosen one, I don't know what your channel is. I think you're sending the link in a chat, and every time you send the link in the chat, the links don't show up. So you got to give me your channel name. I don't know what your channel name is. Deb, that could work. It would be therapeutic. Hey, I'm open. I'm open to it. You know, like I said, I do very much appreciate the fact that completely unprompted, you were the first member of my channel. I would like to give you the opportunity to share your story if it's something that you want to do, and if not, then let's just have a conversation. You know, I'd like to do that with you. Perhaps this Sunday or next week, whenever you're available. I'll give you my Zoom ID number. We can talk, or you can give me yours. I'll write it down and we can talk. Deb. So for real though says, yeah, I don't really got a lot to say, but I generally avoid people I don't like. I know are hostile. For real though, you saying I don't think so. You don't think so what? You don't think that I'm being gangsta? Or you don't think that you can talk to me about gang stalking? Why couldn't you talk to me about gang stalking? I literally run a page that is almost strictly about gang stalking. Last Deb says last time I went to internet cafe, they had me go through all these hoops and I never connected. Figured powers that be noticed my pattern and screwed it up. Yeah, they do that. You know, when I did my interview with AJ, our connection really got messed up, and it's something that is very common among people who do live interviews about gang stalking. I know Unveiling Shadows podcast, it happens to her a lot. Um, which is weird because otherwise our internet is usually fine, but when we do interviews, things are a mess. So it is possible. It is possible. Ty W81 says it's not easy to talk to anyone because not knowing who is part of the stalking in my case. Yeah, I feel you. Um I think that talking about gang stalking to anyone who's not being gang stalked is pretty much useless because they don't understand what you're going through. And even if they did believe you, at a certain point, they're just like, what can I do about it? Like, what do you keep talking to me about it as if I'm going to do anything about this? I can't do anything for you. So, yeah. And they just don't understand why you keep talking about it. They don't get it. They're like, get over it. But they're like, no, 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 it's happening. It's happening to me right now. I'm being like there is a psychological war waged against me now. Like you're not seeing it, but now it's happening right now. Um, so, but they don't see that, so they don't understand. Like they're like, think of other things. Be positive, and you're just like, I'm under attack. What are you talking about? Like be positive. Like at any moment, like any relationship can be destroyed at any moment. I can lose everything at any moment, and you're just like be positive. You don't get it, and it really this kind of attitude, it really made me realize that people are not um indifferent to our experience. They just don't understand it. They can't fathom it. They can't grasp the feeling of the hanging sword above your head that can fall on your head at any time, so to speak, right? Because just because they destroy all your relationships and they take your job and everything, life is not over. But nonetheless, there's sort of a hanging sword of Damocles above your head. The sense of impending doom, if you will. But I think that what helps me a lot is the feeling of, one is, if they blow, like if they go nuclear and they decide to just destroy everything, it's just like, I'll figure it out, you know. Uh, unless they take me out, I'm not going out, and I'll figure it out. Um, that this would be a break out of the shell and perhaps unexpected to speak to someone who believes a huge difference. Deb, I'm open to it. Like I said, if you could, Deb, message me on either Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. You can find me at the War Against Narcissism. If you can just send me your Zoom ID over there. I don't want you to put it in the chat, but if you could send me your Zoom ID in a private message, um, I'd like to talk to you. Uh, Frodo says, I feel like idle time is why you attract these kind of people. Idle time? Like, what do you mean by idle time? I feel like they look at me not the same. Yeah, that's true. Agreed. Often I realize later they are a gang stalker. Yeah, I go through that as well. I'll have interactions where I feel like, oh, this was perfectly fine, and then later on I'm thinking about what they said, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 that was weird. That was a dog whistling. They were making reference to something that happened the day before, and then sometimes I'll doubt myself and I'll just go, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend like I don't know. But I'm gonna keep my wits about myself, and I'm just gonna be cautious. But yeah, there are plenty of moments where I replay events, and I'm just like, oh no, that's not right. That interaction was, um, they were flagging themselves basically. Um, yeah, Deb. I mean, I'm excited to talk to you as well. We're all pretty much isolated in this experience. It's a very isolating experience. Um, I'm lucky enough that, my wife is there for me. A lot of Most of us, not a lot of us, most of us don't have that. We're unable to find that. Um, I'd like uh, I'd like to offer you not only the opportunity to, have a chat with me, because, a chat is nothing, but really, um, the opportunity to get whatever is in your head outside, because it does take a load off. It takes a huge load off to be able to kind of, I mean, not trauma dump, but I mean trauma dump. To just like take it out, like get it out. These things that you've been holding in that you can't tell anyone, just get it out to someone who's like, who doesn't look at you like an alien. Like, what are you talking about? Who looks at you like, yeah, that happened to me too. And then you're like, so, what you did for me, is something I really appreciate. Becoming a member of the channel. Um, so all members of the channel, I'm offering them to do private Zoom calls that may be used as interviews if they want, or not. I just want to talk to you guys. You're spot on, bro. Thank you. That's what made me look internally and feel lost and crazy. Yeah, I mean, you're not crazy. I know the experience is so crazy that when you talk about it to other people, they will tell you that you're crazy. But there's too many of us going through the exact same thing for this to be fake, you know? We're beyond, I feel like we're beyond that point of like, is gang stalking real? We know it's real. We know it's happening. Um, None of us are crazy. I just keep it to myself and find my own answers and weigh out. Trust no one and trust yourself more than anything. That's true. That's true. You attract idiots because you don't have anything to do. I think that's true. Yeah, I think it's important to, especially now that you know that you are fighting against actual demons, to do something productive with your time. Yeah, I think that's really important. Um, I figure they can't take you out, otherwise you'd be out. Uh, well, they can. They can always take you out. It's really more of a matter of do they want to and can they get away with it. Now, can they get away with it? I've seen this journalist Khashoggi be taken out while he was at the embassy. He was a journalist that wrote about um, the United Arab Emirates. He spoke about the crown, the crown prince. I don't know if he's king now, but he was taken out, and it's all on tape. He went to the bathroom. The men followed him to the bathroom. They came out with suitcases. Obviously, you can guess what was in the suitcases, and that was it. Apparently, it was orchestrated by, or was it the Saudi? I think it was the Saudi prince, and nothing is happening to him. He's like one of the richest men in the world. But yeah, I think it's really more of a thing of, is that their goal? Is their goal to actually take you out, or is it to get you to take yourself out while retaining plausible deniability? Which is why, I would never take myself out, and I make it my mission to expose what is going on, because I know what they want. What they want is to accomplish my end while keeping their hands completely clean. My goal is to dirty their hands. It's like, no, no, no. For every cut that you put on me, because this is death by a thousand cuts. You know, gang stalking is death by a thousand cuts. But for every cut you put on me, I'm going to wipe the blood and put it on your hands. This is who did it to me. That's my mission. Um, Most of the time, it's just parental issues and idle time that invites these kinds of people into your life. Mhm. Pretty sure most of these gang stalkers aren't doing anything genuinely productive. You can bet your ass they're not. You can bet your ass they're not. They are too preoccupied with this self-serving behavior, taking pleasure in the destruction of other people in order to do anything creative or productive in their lives. These are destroyers. I know you see all of these having fun, but it's really not reserved for people like the targets. Even if they're having fun, usually they're pretty stupid. Stealing my identity. Stealing your identity. Someone stealing your identity? I just wouldn't participate in that. That's how they get you trapped. Yeah. They censored me saying I don't have other messengers. I said more about stealing identity. Yeah, I didn't get that message at all. Whatever you said, I didn't see it. Sorry. Make this make sense. I'm from New Mexico, a mostly Latino state. A while back, the state hired a custodian and he has a swastika tattoo on his neck. Yeah, he shaved his head. He's sketchy. That's familiar. Oh, on average Joe. Hey, man. How's it going? He shaves his head. He's sketchy as you'd imagine. Yeah, I mean, hiring someone with a swastika on his head, that's crazy work. Not too shocking for New Mexico, for sure, but that's crazy work. What the hell are you doing with that on your head? Hey AJ, how's it going, man? How you been? I just watched one of your videos today. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember commenting on it. Or was it today or yesterday? I don't know. I have a pretty bad memory. Keep up the good work, man. I really enjoy your channel. I like the fact that you speak up. I um I think if all of us did that, if every single can you imagine if every single one of us just spoke up and said, "This is what's happening. It's happening to me, it's happening to all these people." I was actually thinking about making like a compilation video of all you guys, everybody that I know that's a targeted individual, where we would have a script, like an actual speech, and everyone is just reading the speech, and then I would like do a montage of like, this person starts, and then this person goes, and then this person goes, and then we go back to this person, and we go to another one, like anyways, I have all these ideas in my head. Um, but it's just like, that's how propaganda works. When the virus spread in 2020, you had all these news media that were just spitting out the same thing, the same rhetoric, as far as, I mean, I don't want to get into the subject because it'll get me banned, but they all said the same thing, and I just think that it's a very convincing message when everyone is saying the exact same message. It's very convincing, and in our case, of course, it's 100% the truth. It's an unbelievable truth, but it's 100% the truth, and I think it's intelligent to use these tactics that we know work as far as propaganda. I mean, I don't want to use like evil tactics or use it to do evil, of course, but gang stalking is real. And you know, if we, if like we have a speech of, this has been happening, these are the people behind it, and everyone is just spitting out the same speech, and we're able to get people to see like we can't, like, even if we were all delusional, we can't all share the same delusion. That that's impossible. That is an impossibility. And I think that if we were able to get like a video like that out, people would be like, this is worth looking into. Because when one person, um, for example, Edward Snowden, speaks, makes a movie, and tells people, warns people, hey, I worked for the government, I'm a whistleblower, they're spying on you. And, they're stockpiling evidence against you that can be used later on. You go, well, he's one person. I don't know him. You know, maybe he's crazy. But if it's freaking 200 of us, for example, like 200 people just spitting out the exact same speech, people would go, this is worth investigating. This is worth looking into. What is happening here? Who's doing what? To who? For what? You know, I think that's a good idea. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's a really good idea. And I'm not the type of person, I mean, as you can tell, I'm not the type of person to sit and twiddle my thumbs. Um, I've thought of this idea and I'm going to put it into action. Like I'm actually gonna do it. I'm gonna recruit you guys, among other people, and I'm gonna get it done. I, you know, my gang stalkers have let me know that in their action, of course, but also in no uncertain terms, they've let me know that they're waging war against me. If this is war, okay, let's do it. Let's go. You know, it's like there were so many times in my life for the past 20 years where I thought, okay, they'll stop now. Okay, this is it. Oh, this should stop now, and it just worse, 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 worse. And I'm just like, I'm at a point where I'm like, oh, okay, so they're not gonna stop. Their goal is to end me. Let's go to war. All right, because the whole idea is that they take you to war. They wage war against you, unbeknownst to you. They don't tell you that there is war, right? They don't tell you that we're waging psychological war against you. They just do it, and before you figure out that they are actually waging war against you, um, you sort of you're confused about what's happening, and of course they use tactics to make you feel like you deserve it. They shame you, things of that nature, and getting people to turn on you in real life. Also, if you're a person that has self-doubt, it makes you think like, oh, I must deserve it, and then you feel shame, so you're quiet. When in reality, the only person that should feel any shame is the person perpetrating this horrible crime. um, but it's very effective. Shaming the victim is very effective in keeping them quiet. I'm done. I'm done being quiet. So, and I'd like to recruit all of you to also be done being quiet, because silence is complicit. When you are silent about the abuse that is going on, you are basically signing off on it. You're saying, I'm okay with this. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. If you're silent about the abuse you're going through, you're basically saying, in no words, you are saying, I'm okay with it. So I'm not okay with it. Join me. Dismembered. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone, by the way. Hope y'all are doing okay, considering our situations. Keep standing strong and don't give up. That's right, on average, Joe. That's right. On average, Joe is also another person who speaks up. We've been having private conversations. We're actually in a group chat, on average, Joe and I, with other TIs. And on average, Joe is actually a very intelligent person who has information on a lot of things that I've never known. He shared some pretty interesting videos with me about the roots of where this program may come from. Very interesting stuff. Thank you for the words of encouragement, on average, Joe, and keep exposing these people. What's up, H Town Scott? Can't get into my Facebook properly. Well, if you figure out a way to either get on TikTok, on Facebook, or Instagram, I'd love to talk to you, Deb. Um, I'd love to give you my Zoom ID, because I'm not gonna give it to you here, uh, because perps might be here. Uh, but I'd really like to have a private conversation with you. When will you change the content? When I feel like it. Uh, hey Annette, how's it going? I'm glad you're here. I won't be here for too long, but I should be here for about a good 30 more minutes. I'm pretty sure nobody really wants to have fun with them. It's just stupid and meaningless. Yeah, absolutely. It is stupid and meaningless. And these people are losers. I don't envy them. The people who gang stalk me, I used to be friends with them, and they would talk about, their other friends to me. And then I would see them hang out with them, and I was just like, how can you speak so horribly about a person and then be their friends? And now it's me. But I don't do that. This whole pretending like we're friends after you said some horrific shit about me. Nah. People wanted it, they'd have it done a long ago. Well, some of us have been, taken out, poisoned. Um, I mean, I don't want to scare you guys, obviously. I think that most of us are low tier on the list. But some of us have been taken out. I don't want you to, and some of us have had attempts at at being taken out. So I don't want you to think that like, oh, these people, they're not gonna do anything. Um, Stay safe, keep your wits about you, and I mean, most of them are cowards. Don't get me wrong, most of them are absolute cowards, and they're not gonna do a damn thing. But it does happen. You recruit the wrong person or the right person. Like as an agent or as a handler, you recruit some kind of psychopath, and you realize that this person will do anything. He doesn't care. He has no empathy in the world for anyone. And if he's in trouble, like if he's trying to like stay out of jail, you tell him, hey, here's this direct energy weapon, go fry this person's brain. He's just like, all right. He'll take pleasure in it. So keep your wits about yourself, because as you know, no matter what your situation is when it comes to being gang stalked, it can change drastically like that. Like you go to like a restaurant regularly, and then all of a sudden the employees are really rude to you and you don't know why. Your situation can always change. This is a small example, obviously, but um, the people that are participating in your abuse can always change, and it only takes a psychopath. And of course, they're able to profile these people and figure out who will go the distance if it is what they want. So just be safe. Just be safe. I don't want you to think like, oh, I'm in danger and they're gonna, because more than likely they're not. It's too many of us for them to like just take us out immediately. But nonetheless, I think keep your wits about yourself. They've literally dedicated their lives to this, unfortunately. Yeah. You would think that like there would be more interesting things to do with your life, especially if you have like access to like all this money and power. It's like, what are you doing? Go like join a tennis club or something. Go date women. You're torturing innocent people, spying on innocent people. You're a loser. I agree with you, AJ. It's very unfortunate. It's a decomposing corrosion of the mind game ish. It's wick, man. Yeah, they're not trying to understand that they are trying to take you out. They're just not trying to take you out quickly. They're trying to take you out very slowly um in order to maintain plausible deniability, because if you go to a third world country and some army commits mass unalivings of a population, who's going to investigate that crime? No one, right? I mean, the UN can talk all they want, but the authorities of that country are not even equipped to fight back. So they can take out these people directly with basic, firearms and things of that nature. But when it comes to us, if you want to thin out our numbers, first world countries, you I mean, you have to hide your identity. You have to hide your hands after you throw stones, because we have the means to um, dwell out justice on criminals. So they figured out a way to thin out our numbers without getting into trouble. Whoever put their minds to like creating this program is probably in hell's basement right now. He's on clone phone now, monitoring what I say. You're talking about your ex, Deb? AJ says hit the like button, everyone. Please hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot. It helps with the algorithm. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you, AJ. Um, People are bound by NDAs though and are afraid to speak. Well, that is true. It's something I have heard a lot in the past. People saying that their friends were turned on them, and when they tried to talk to them and convince them that, the monster that they told you I was is not who I am. They said, at the end of the day, I can't do anything for you. I signed an NDA, so I can't tell you anything. This is a story that keeps coming up over and over and over again. Um, the only thing I have to say about that is, you know, an NDA will not protect you in court. If you have participated in a crime or you were aware of a crime and said nothing, that's not going to protect you in court. And it certainly is not going to protect you from going to hell, which is where you're going. I hope you like warm weather. Um, Also, you guys like the compilation clips. I'm gonna do it. I'm 100% gonna do it. I am not the type of person who talks about doing something and then doesn't do it. I am going to write the speech. I'm going to make it as palatable and digestible as possible. And then I'm going to send it out to people and I'm going to say, record yourself filming this and send it back to me. And I will do the compilation. I'm going to be on that. You better believe. I bet it's the damaged child's falling victim to these kinds with parental issues and financial issues. That's where all the problems start. It's all kind of people. It's all kind of people. Of course, these are easy targets. Whoever you're talking about, for real though, these are easy targets, but it's all kinds of people because everyone can be manipulated. Even people who are really like solid people, kind people, empathetic people, they can be manipulated into thinking that someone is an absolute monster and they are the only person standing between them and this person, this dangerous person, this dangerous to society, getting justice. And then they'll start doing things to abuse that person without understanding that they're actually targeting an innocent person, or they're targeting a person who's really not as bad as they think or they've been convinced of. So it's all kinds of people. The FBI, the CIA, these are secret police. They've been doing this, manipulating people into doing what it is that they want them to do, nudging people. They've been doing this. They know how to manipulate people. It's literally what they do. People know about gang stalking, they just don't want to mention it. Most people don't know about it. Most people don't know about it. The people who know about it, I will agree with you. The people who know about it don't want to mention it, uh, because they have a false sense of security. They feel like it's not happening to me. So, you know, I'm sorry this is happening to you, but it's not happening to me, and I'm not trying to attract that stuff on me. What they don't understand is whatever you're okay with, you know, whatever treatment you're okay with happening to others, eventually it'll be done to you. It's just a matter of time. You, your children, your loved ones, whatever. Um, you can't watch injustices, atrocities happen to others and do nothing and expect that it will not eventually fall upon you, because it will. You know, we um, we often look at our countries that drop baloney baloney on third world countries. I'm saying baloney, but I don't mean baloney. I think you know what I'm speaking of. But we often look at our first world countries dropping baloney on third world countries, and we think it'll never happen to us. But America dropped baloney on its own citizens in Philadelphia once. We think that our government will never drop baloney on us, but they have. You just don't know about it. Anyways, this is a worldwide issue. It sure is. Get what done. I'm talking about the video compilation. I'm going to write a speech about gang stalking just to raise awareness, and I'm going to get people to record themselves saying that speech, and I'm going to cut segments together of all the people basically saying the same thing in order to raise awareness about gang stalking. Because when one of us speaks on gang stalking, it's easy to deny and say, well, you're crazy, you're delusional, you're you're working too hard, you're stressed, you're imagining things. But if 200, 300, 500 of us are reading the same speech and confirming this is happening to me, it's like 500 of us can be delusional. 500 of us cannot share the same delusion. Now, is it going to make a huge difference? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll be the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, guys. English is my third language. The catalyst. Sorry about that. Maybe it'll be the catalyst that will eventually make a difference. Maybe it'll be the catalyst that will, spark the person that will actually make a difference. Or maybe it'll be the you know action that makes the difference. Maybe, because we're all here in comment sections, and under YouTube videos comment sections, under TikTok videos comment sections, in lives, talking to each other while no one hears us. I'm trying to get people to listen to us. you know um that will be my contribution to the world, exposing gang stalkers. Am I on TikTok? I am on TikTok. Actually, I have like 20 something thousand followers on TikTok, which is really nuts. What city state did your gang stalking start in? I live in Montreal. I've never been anywhere else. No stopping. Absolutely no stopping. Such a victim. I think we have a perp here with James Reacher. Possibly. Could it be? Could it be? Will I have to whack someone, to ban someone? I look forward to that. I print info and website on mailer labels and then put them at gas pumps, car washes, bus stops. Also post flyers, message boards, and various places that have a message board. That's really good and important work on average, Joe. I would just advise you to not name names, because my friend did that, the same thing that you're talking about. She would put posters and stickers all over London, but she would put names. She got in trouble. She went to prison. She went to a mental institute. She's awaiting trial. No names yet. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are in for the compilation video, because like I said, I'm not the type of person to say I'm gonna do something and then not do it. I'm gonna do this. I will. Never give in to these scumbags. Never. Yeah, they convince people into thinking that targeted individuals are bad people, are dangerous, are, menace to societies. I mean, they just say the most hateful things they can say about you that will get anyone to hate anyone immediately. Like like Epstein, you know. I've never heard of Epstein before. I had never heard of Epstein before 2013, and then when I heard about him, I was just like, okay, I hate him. I don't know, I hate him. So obviously, if they accuse you of doing something like that, um, not only would society immediately hate you, but I'm also a person who would immediately hate you and think that you deserve anything that you get, everything that you get. So, yeah, first I've been destroyed, so clearly someone or group did not like my message. Yeah, I mean, if you put up stickers around the city and posters, they're gonna take it down, but you know, we can't stop. We can't stop raising awareness because that's how it starts. That's the catalyst. Raising awareness is the catalyst. You know, you get this out to the right person and they go, "Oh, what is this?" And they investigate it and realize that it's real and it's like, I can do something about this, you know. Had one knock on my door early yesterday morning. I didn't answer the door, caught on my CCTV. I took my statement out from police and they stole my phone with evidence of my assault last year. Why they still come to my home? Losers. They poison me every time I leave my house. I keep hearing about that. They dragged me out cold last year and assaulted me. I ended up in the hospital. Oh my God. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm subbing to people like you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much appreciated, James. Hey, Jem Jem. How are you doing? Did you get a chance to speak to a Cosmic Queen? I know you were talking to her yesterday and you guys wanted to get in contact. I hope you guys are able to talk to each other. I'm looking for a lady here. Oh, well, I'm guessing you didn't. Hopefully, Cosmic Queen reaches the chat and you'll be able to exchange that information. They are ex-friends and my brother. Yeah, one of my siblings is in on it. My ex friends are in on it. Uh, they get your inner circle involved. They get them to turn on you. It's really it's really mind-boggling when you think about it. It really is. It's mind-boggling. My favorite uncle is in on it. My favorite uncle. My mother's brother. My mother's young brother is in on it. That really shocked me. And I found out at his father's funeral, my grandfather's funeral. That's where I found out because he said something to me. I went to go shake his hand because he lives in the U.S. and he came to Canada for the funeral, and I was so happy to see him. I went to go shake his hand. I was like, "Hey, uncle, how you doing?" And he shook my hand. He didn't say much, and then he said to me, um, he said, "I've known you since you were a baby." And then I kind of turned to him and I was like, "What? What did you say?" And then he didn't say anything, but he didn't say like I've known you since you were a baby. He was like, "I've known you since you were a baby," and I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then he just went off, uh, went on his way. And then I kept rethinking about that. I was like, "What is he talking about?" And that's when I realized that someone, a couple of months later, years actually, I started thinking about, what he said, and then the fact I started to put together that other people in the family were also in on it, and I was being gaslit and things of that nature. And I put it together that, oh, he's also in on it. When he said, "I've known you since you were a kid," they probably told him that I said something about him or I did something behind his back or things to that effect, and he felt betrayed by me, which is why he said, "I've known you since you were a baby." And I was just like, why would you even say that? I'm saying hi to you. And he's just looking at me like, "I've known you since you were a baby." And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, you're happy to see me? I've grown? But he wasn't saying that. And he wasn't saying it like that. He was mad when he was saying it. He was like mad when he was saying it. Anyways, I'm sorry for that tangent, guys. Uh, I almost died one day before my birthday. I almost got smacked by a car. It was going 50 miles per hour. Dang. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you so much for your kind words. Likewise, you're also appreciated for your efforts and activism speaking up about this crime against humanity, which under the Geneva Convention is assigned death. Make no mistakes, this is unalivings, mass unaliving. That's what this is. That's what this is all about. That's the end goal. The end goal is depopulation. And I think it does tie in with AI because at a certain point it's like they're not gonna need us. You know, like they grew our numbers when they needed us to work at the bottom of the pyramid. But now at the bottom of the pyramid, they can put robots. So some of us are gonna have to go. This is depopulation. And I think this is just the beginning, unfortunately, unless we stop it. Sarah Connor style. Once you truly grasp that your inner self, in your inner self, then you know that it's no big deal. How late am I? Hey, Cosmic Queen, Gem is looking for you. I mean, you're not that late. It's only been an hour that I've been talking, but I'm gonna leave soon, unfortunately. It's just psychological and emotional isolation. You'll never have a regular relationship again for the rest of your life. That's all. These are comforting words. They idolize us. It is idolatry. They made us their God, in a way. I mean, someone said to me, I believe 2 days ago, they said it's it's like we're famous and we have fans. And I was like, we're not famous, we're infamous. It's almost the same, but it's different. Why is a red light at the top of my screen blinking? I don't know. I have no idea. Usually not a good sign. So the moral of the story is if you never had fun with them, don't think you will ever have fun with them. It just doesn't work like that. Um, I'm not scared of them. They can all, I don't know, whatever. I'm so blown away by the whole thing. I have no words. Yeah. Um, I often, I often think to myself, like, I can't believe this is the world I live in. Doesn't seem real. Selena, girl, I am Caribbean. You've asked this before. I am Caribbean. I don't know why you're hearing an accent. I don't have a Caribbean accent. I have a French accent. Beyond, thank you for my support. I said it's the same name she hears in everyone. Never cases I'm in the UK. The timing is off to be here. Had to wake early. It's 5:46 a.m. over here. Sorry about that. My family is totally turned on me. Yeah, many members of my family have turned on me, and I, I suspect that more will. It is what it is. There are some people that will never turn on me. That I know for sure. There are some people that simply cannot be bought, cannot be compromised. I take, I find peace in knowing that, and I keep these people around me, and these people are precious to me. Anyways, live in Los Angeles, and I have millions of people in my street theater. I bet Los Angeles is pretty bad for that. I'm in isolation. Only go out once a week for counseling. Stop speaking to all family and so-called friends. They're all involved. That's unfortunate, but yeah, that's how it goes. I could not see myself falling for this crap. Well, see, um, I think that you are a bit confused on or not informed on the tactics that they used, Annette. Because if I came to you and showed you a CIA or FBI badge, and I said, we need to talk to you about one of your neighbors. Someone just moved into your neighborhood and they are um schmexmofender. They have no we suspect that they're guilty of abducting children and disappearing them. And it's a long list of them. And then I show you their faces. And then I show you some proof that we have acquired, but it's illegal proof, so we can't use it in court. But it proves, and of course it's fake proof, uh, but it proves what we are saying. This person is a danger to society. And then we say, we need your help. We're going through the whole community and we need your help in order to arrest this person. Um, Personally, I'm not saying for you, but personally, if that happened to me before my experience, I probably would have helped. I would have been like, this person needs to be locked up. Disappearing children, this person needs to go, you know? So sometimes they'll go to people and sort of give them the opportunity to gain gift cards, money. Sometimes they'll go to them and tell them, look, we know you're on parole, and if you don't want to go back to prison, you violated your parole. If you don't want to go back to prison, here's what you need to do for us. They'll give you the carrot and the stick. And then sometimes they'll just give you a really good story and tug on your heartstring and tell you, we need your help. These children are in danger. The children of your neighborhood are in danger. Your children are in danger. We need your help. And they're completely lying. Personally, I think I would be convinced by that story. And I'm only using that story because I would be convinced by that story. I would do what I can to protect children. And unknowingly, I would not protect children. I would be hurting an innocent person. And I wouldn't feel bad about it because I wouldn't know he's innocent. I would think this is a monster. However he feels, I don't care. I want him gone. So this is how they work. I'm in LA. Every time I park, people show up. That's been happening to me. They're not approaching the solid people in my life, only the ones with character issues. Same, same. The solid people in my life are definitely not approached. Um, and they plan it out. They wait for the right moment. They wait for you to have an argument with someone, for you to have a falling out with someone. Because sometimes you'll have a falling out, and then you get back to to being on normal timing with someone, but they'll use that, or they'll create it in order to turn that person against you, and then they'll go in. It's a very dirty game. Sprinkles ask, I'm in the process of moving out of my town, hopefully to a different country. Will it stop then? From what I've heard, no. There are absolutely no people I've spoken to who said that they moved to a different country and it stopped. Now, most of the people who said that they moved to a different country, it got better, but it never stopped. In order for evil to prevail, good men stand aside and do nothing. That's right. They'll lie in your name, deception and lies. It's their game. Yeah, they'll lie in your name. And honestly, even if they were saying something true about you, right? If you were a criminal, then if you've committed a crime, then you deserve justice to happen to you. You deserve your day in court. No one gets to be judge, jury, and executioner. So I don't care. I really don't care um, what you've done at all. No one deserves this. Make no mistakes. No one deserves this. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. My chat's not coinciding with the convo. Yeah, I'm far behind. Sorry. Only chosen ones can make the difference. You speak on this because you are awake. That's true. That is true. We are so outnumbered. Doesn't matter. We've got truth on our side. Have you ever had an unpleasant doctor visit? Not unpleasant doctor's visit, but I've had unpleasant vet visits with my dog. Um, my vets are in on it. Really take that in so you don't get dissuaded, maimed, gang stalked worse than you've ever been. In Canada as well. Yeah, it's happening in Canada. I'm in Canada. If they can use someone and they don't see what happens, they're end for the. I'm sorry. He's not the only people in here. Perp in here. There's a perp. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of perps in here. There are a couple of perps in here. Some of them are pretending to be gangsta. I'm just waiting. I'm patient. You know. I've heard Canada is one of the worst for gang stalking. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Um, I'm in Canada, but I hear the UK is the worst. So, but from what I've seen, it would seem that the US is actually the worst. You know, I've been told the UK is the worst, and Canada is pretty bad. But from my experience, from what I've seen, most of the people I talk to on a personal level are from the UK. But from what I've seen, the worst of it is in the US. These energy vampires don't rest. They sure don't. They sure don't. We're not outnumbered if you have God. You have everything. That's right. We're not outnumbered. You know, 1,000 demons cannot defeat God. Can they? They cannot. I'm just going to read the comments quickly before I leave because I told my wife I was going to be here for only an hour. Somebody asked me to get on live. I can't remember who it was, but they asked me to get on live today because they wanted to ask me something. So I figured I'll do it. But I don't think that they're in a chat right now. Or maybe they are. Sorry. At this rate, it really falls on deaf ears if you make a mistake. What do you mean it falls on deaf ears if you make a mistake? I don't know what you mean. Had one of my gangstalker family members ask for prayer from me today. Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure most people are old enough to realize that they'll never get together with certain kinds of people as long as they know their own direction. For real though, it's very confusing the things you're saying. I'm not sure I understand. My brother told me it's because I say too much. Well, I won't shut up now. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. These people don't understand, you know. They think that if you're just quiet about it, it'll go away. Like if you just like stop giving them ammo, it'll go away. No, 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 no. They're spying on you and they're gathering information in order to attack you in the worst possible way while holding possible deniability. This will not stop because you're quiet. It will continue because you're quiet. And even if you do speak up, it will probably possibly still happen. But at the very least, it weakens their tactics, you know? Um, being quiet is not an option at this point. You know, a lot of people are afraid to speak up because they think, oh, these people are going to take me out if I talk. Newsflash, They already are. They're doing it. Whatever you think they're gonna do to you, they're doing it right now, and they're not gonna stop until unless you do something about it. So, uh, much like you, Sprinkles, I will never shut up. They're gonna have to shut me up. Maybe they will. At this point, it doesn't matter because I know that even if I don't speak up, they're gonna go through. They're gonna go through with their plan anyways. So I might as well speak up, right? You know, there was an African American woman who said, "If you're silent about your abuse, when you pass away, they'll say you enjoyed it." Y'all ain't gonna say that shit about me. No thanks. Um, yeah, Cosmic Queen and Gem Gem. I know you guys wanted to get in contact, so if you guys want to share like information, now is a good time because I'm about to leave. It could be to take your energy, just pray for them in private if you feel to. Yeah, I mean, it could be to take your energy. It could be to gaslight you to get you to. I mean, it could even be a tactic that they were instructed on doing in order to get you to get your guards down. You're like, oh, this person asked me to pray for them. Maybe I'm wrong about them, and they're actually not in on it. It's all in my head. If you have a way for me to reach you, I'm basically completely offline. I was shocked to find some of them out who are involved. I would never have thought. So was I. I have a sibling who's in on it. Can you believe that? A sibling. A sibling who's in on it. That was shocking. That was quite a shock to me. I never would have thought that a sibling of mine would do something like that. But then again, now that I think about it and I see things with sort of a new vision, it's always been in their character. This is a very flawed person that I'm talking about. Very corrupted person. I just never I've never been at the end of this person's persecution. But they're my sibling. Same mother, same father. My sibling. Isn't that crazy? For real though, you repeat yourself a lot. What are you saying? What are you saying? Watching who haven't. Yeah, we have perps in here. They'll reveal themselves in time. I'm not worried. I've been tracked since birth, but it was different special programs, the best health practitioners. Sorry. Um, they're worried about the lies coming out, but they eventually do some of the times. I'm not praying for them. They are demons. I'm not praying for them either. I pray for justice. I pray everyone gets justice. Everybody. I just want to say my experience is exactly like yours. Friends, family turned on me. Not outright saying it. Yeah, it is what it is. They are seed of the serpent, Cain and Abel syndrome. It's in every family. Sure is. Sure is. What is an R&D state? They have been doing medical, psychological, genetic research on so many of us. I do know that. What does R&D mean? Before I go, I had something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. I can't remember. Research and development. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm gonna speak on this before I go. Um, I think that more people should be informed on what MK Ultra is. I'm looking for you on Facebook, but only see you on IG. Is there a Facebook account? Yes, it's the War Against Narcissism everywhere. If you can't find it on Facebook, that's okay. Message me on Instagram. You know, I check all my messages. I don't respond to all of them because I get a lot. Uh, but Anna, just message me on Instagram. Oh, your message disappeared. I guess you said a word that's restricted. I don't know. I wanted to speak on MK Ultra, and MK Ultra is it's so important that people know about MK Ultra because um, MK Ultra was a torture program. It was supposed to be like a mind control program that the CIA ran because there were rumors that the Soviet Union was running uh, mind control programs on their people. And the reason why that this rumor came out is because they couldn't understand how Soviet Union soldiers were so dedicated to their cause, right? And really, the truth is because they knew that they were the good. I mean, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. Anyways, but the Soviet Union had such dedicated soldiers that it got the U.S. to start thinking that perhaps um, these Soviets are running a mind control program, and they wanted to sort of have this Manchurian candidate program where they could activate people into committing mass violence, um, so that they could send them over to their enemy and have them commit mass violence, basically with like triggers, mind control. Anyways, so what they did is this MK Ultra program, which happened in the USA and in Canada, mostly in Canada actually. But this MK Ultra program, they would torture prisoners, they would torture mental institute patients, and this was all under the supervision of psychiatrists, employees of the prisons and the mental institutes. This was ran in Canada. It was ran at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, which is a city where I was born and I still live. Um, the biggest part of the program was actually run from there in Montreal, and Dr. Ewan Cameron, who is allegedly now deceased, he passed away during a ski trip with his son. Um, but what they would do is um, they would drug the patients and the inmates with LSD, with massive amounts of LSD. They would drug them. They would play these recordings that would repeat the same things, like "You're such a selfish person. You're such a selfish person," or "You are loved. You are loved." Right? It's just like repeated program. Um, it was sort of like hypnotism, sort of, under drugs, and they also used electroshock therapy. They would, electrocute these people, and some of the survivors did interviews lately, last year actually, with Canadian news channels, and said, I'll still wake up in the middle of the night screaming from what they did to me. Some of them were going to court, to take the government to court, take the institute to court, the Allen Memorial Institute to court for what happened to their family members. They said, our father was a businessman. He was a husband. When he came back home from the Allen Memorial Institute, he couldn't remember that he had a business. He couldn't remember that he had children. He only remembered his wife. He was never the same again afterwards. They did some really horrible things to thousands of people, right? And I mean, really horrible. unspeakable, inhumane torture to these people. And within within this program, when after it was investigated, after it came out, this program ran from about 1940 to about 1970. They say it stopped in about 1970. I don't think it ever stopped. I think we're in it now. You're looking at it. But they they it was found out that this was not only accepted by the Canadian and US government, okayed it. They okayed the experiment. Um, but they funded it with our tax dollars. They funded it the same way that our torture is currently being funded by tax dollars, because this is the federal government doing this. The federal government is behind this. The federal government doesn't have money. They get all the money that they get is from our tax dollars, right? So I believe that if we were able to get the word out, um, that MK Ultra existed, and it was not that long ago. It ended 50 years ago. You know, my dad is older than 50, you know? Like my dad was a kid when this was happening. It could have happened to him. So, anyways, the point I'm making is that if we were able to get out the information about MK Ultra and really, you know, get it into people's brains. MK Ultra was real. MK Ultra happened. Your government okayed it and funded it with your tax dollars. Are you okay with that? And also the gang stalking program is very similar to MK Ultra, and it's also being funded by tax dollars. And the same way that people didn't believe in MK Ultra while it was happening, which is why it was able to go on for so long. We're talking 30 years here, maybe probably more, is the same reason why the gang stalking program has been able to run for so long, is because people don't believe in it, because they're like, well, things like this don't happen. But if you know about MK Ultra, then oh, things like this happen all the time. MK Ultra, COINTELPRO, Zersetzung, um, these programs have been taking place since forever. It's just that now the internet is involved. So they're not just going to the people around you, and they're not targeting like a couple of people. They're targeting a lot of people, and they're able to spy on you, spy on your friends, spy on your family members, figure out who's susceptible to be corrupted, who cannot be corrupted, who they want to target also within your family, um, using AI. They don't have to do like manual work as much as they did back then in order to sabotage your life. Which is why there are so many more victims than before. It's because a lot of it is done through AI. Anyways, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Um, I think I'm gonna make a quick video tonight. It's actually a really good one. I'm gonna put it out tonight before I get on this PS5. I borrowed my brother-in-law's PS5. He let me borrow it. It's really cool. And I'm actually playing Final Fantasy 16. A lot of you have heard me say in the past, um, I don't want to do this. I don't want to run this channel. I don't want to make a channel about gang stalking. This is not what I had, intended for myself, as like a plan how I would spend my free time. But I feel like when you should be doing something and you don't do it, that's a sin. I mean, it's in the Bible. It's a sin, right? Um, so I feel a strong calling to do this. I feel like I cannot let people suffer quietly, you know? I was never quiet about anybody else suffering. I was never quiet about, mass unalivings in third world countries. I was never quiet about um, any of these things ever before. I was never quiet about people being treated unfairly because of their religion, their race, their genders. I was never quiet about these things. And now that it's happening to me, I'm certainly not going to be quiet about it. So, yeah. Uh, However, I am going to play this Final Fantasy game tonight, right after I make this video. So, um, I would just like to thank you guys for being here with me. Every time I do a live, you guys show up in numbers, and it really means a lot to me. Like I said before I go, I do want to let you guys know if you would like to do an interview with me, even if you've already done an interview. Like, let's say you want to talk about something more, or you just want to like talk to me. Let me know. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. The name is The War Against Narcissism everywhere on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's The War Against Narcissism. Send me a message. Let me know that, just let me know in the message that you want to do an interview with me. I would like to do interviews with you guys, and give me your username in on YouTube so that I can recognize you. I can remember you because I will prioritize the people that I know and that I can put my trust in because you've been here from the start. So, for example, Deb, um, and any other person that is a member of my channel, or anybody who's been a regular on my channel, I would really like to interview you, get your stories out there. And like I said, I'm gonna also work on writing this speech that I'm gonna have all of you, if you are so inclined to do so, um, read out in front of a camera so that I can make a compilation of all of us so that people can know, um, we are we are not delusional. And even if we were delusional, we couldn't possibly be sharing the exact same delusion. That's ridiculous. Uh, so I know I don't have a regular time on here on YouTube. Sorry, I don't have a regular time. But whenever I get on, I always wait a couple of minutes for people to before I start talking, for people to join the live. And I always make my lives at least an hour so that people can actually join. They start to gang stalk when you start to speak up. They're already gang stalking you. All of us are. No one's safe from being gang stalked. It's just a matter of time. Um, hey, have a great night, Average Joe. Thank you for being here. You guys, yeah, I come on here about every 2 to 3 days. Usually, yeah. You guys, please message me. Let me know if you want to do the interview. Um, Thank you for supporting my page. Thank you for being here. Um, you deserve grace. You deserve mercy. Stay safe, guys.